Hi friends, welcome back to my channel for another tag video this week. Today I have for you all the New Year Same Old Me book tag. I know that it's technically March, but with my 1 year booktube anniversary coming up, I thought it's actually pretty perfect to do this tag today. And I was so graciously tagged by Renee at Beyond Books. And I believe the origin story for this tag is that Kevin Toll Reeds created this tag, and then James Rushala revised it a little bit to make it into a booktube tag. I'm not 100% sure, but their videos and everything will be linked in the description as always. And let's get started on our tag video. Number 1, regrets. What is one book from my 2024 reading goals that I regret reading or still haunts me? The only book that came to mind is Ali Hazelwood's Love on the Brain. I do genuinely think that this book might tiered in one of my least favorite books I have read in 2024, and I genuinely felt like I should have just DNF'd it once I got the vibes that I wasn't enjoying it. But for some reason, I just kept on reading it. And I remember I stayed up so late to finish off this book to really get through to the end of it. And ultimately, it haunts me to this day because why? Why did I push myself to read something that I just didn't enjoy? So this year, one of my top goals of the year is to just DNF if I figured out that I am not enjoying the book early on, because there's no reason for me to waste my time, my limited resource, on reading something that I'm just not quite enjoying. Number 2, Penitence. What is a book in my 2024 reading goal that I feel guilty about not finishing? Not so much not finishing, but rather I did not read it at all, and it would have to be Piranesi. So many of my fellow booktubers absolutely love this book, and it was on my TBR again and again and again, and it was on my mind again and again and again, with more and more booktubers coming out and saying that they really enjoyed Piranesi, but I just never made the time to read the book, even though it was a priority in the forefront of my mind, and I really regretted not reading the book at all. So in 2025, I made it my mission, my priority to read the book, and I'm happy to say that in January of 2025, I have already finished the book, and I'm so proud of myself for that, and I ended up really enjoying the book itself. So I'm kicking myself for not reading it sooner, and you'll hear more about the book in my January monthly wrap-up. Moving right along to prompt number 3, the Albatross. Very coincidental considering what my answer was to number 2, but this prompt basically asked if there are any books that I had on my 2024 TBR that I am glad I won't be reading in 2025, aka probably that I have removed from my TBR. And the only book that came to mind that I actually removed from my TBR in 2024 was Binding 13. Binding 13 definitely has had its way around booktube, around book talk. I've heard some fellow booktubers talk about the book and even done some reading vlogs on it, and I'm gonna have to go with Jessie's stance on this. She made a reading vlog a while back reading the book, and I think she did like the characterization and the character arcs and development, and if I recall correctly, it is a very character-driven story. However, she didn't like the fact that it's a YA book and there are YA characters. The characters we follow are all YA, aka 16, 17, 18, and yet there were explicit content and explicit materials in the book. And as someone who's like a fully grown adult, that doesn't really interest me. I don't think that we should be writing that when it's categorized as YA. It's definitely, crossing some gray boundaries in my eyes. So I ended up removing it from my TBR. I figured I probably wouldn't have really liked it for the very same reason that Jessie called it out on. Binding 13 was the one book I can really call out and remember for sure that was on my 2024 reading TBR that I ended up not going forward in 2025. Moving right along to prompt number 4, which is pruning. Have any 2024 books led me to reconsider my long-term reading goals? I have absolutely zero reading goals that are long-term. I mean, you can kind of stretch out some of my reading goals to be long-term, but I don't necessarily think that any books that I read in the last year truly impacted my reading goal as a whole. So I'm gonna have to go with a quick and short answer for this one. No books really have impacted my reading habits, my reading goals as of last year. We'll see if this answer changes in 2025. Now, moving right along to prompt number 5, Lying Fallow, which asks if there are any authors I am taking a break from in 2025. And I'm kind of crushed to say this, but I think I'm going to be taking a break from Ali Hazelwood. Kind of a shocker. I do own 4 of her books over here. And honestly, last year, she was the first author I could clearly say that she was my favorite author, but something about the most recent read, specifically Deep End, just didn't click for me. And I felt like she's pumping out her stories really, really fast. And I'm getting a whiplash between all the different genres and all the different types that she's writing. So I think I'm going to take a break from her. I know she has a new release coming out sometime in end of May. And then the sequel to Bride is coming out in October as well. So she has a lot of new releases coming out along with the new release that came out in February. And I just think I need a little bit of a break from her. I find that her writing has drastically changed, and I'm kind of missing the quirkiness of the characters that were prevalent in her older reads. And definitely her new reads read more mature, but I think her quirky characters were really the selling point for me in her older books. And as she matures, or as she's trying out different writing genres and different writing styles, I'm just realizing it's not exactly what I fell in love with, and that's okay. We're gonna have a short break between you and me, Ali Hazelwood, but I think I will at some point eventually make my way back around to her releases and read them when they come out, or read them through my library instead of purchasing them like I did the previous year. Moving right along to number 6, which is The Scapegoat, which asks, are there any formerly favorite author that you are taking a break from in 2025? The answer is the same as number 5. I am taking a break from Ali Hazelwood, even though she was a foundation in getting me back into reading. It's not you, it's me. And let's move right along to number 7, which is Stay the Course. And it asks if there are any series that I started last year that I might finish in this year. Now, I am making it a goal to catch up to as many series as possible and wrap up as many series as possible before starting a new one. Off the top of my head, I have 3 right now that I am so close to finishing that I know I'm probably going to finish by the end of this year. The first one up is going to be the Murderbot Diaries. I do believe I have the final book left, and they came out with a 4.5 book as well. So I might try to read that. And I think it should be a pretty quick read considering the fact that they are novellas. The second one is the Sacred Stones trilogy. I am actually literally in the middle of the 3rd book right now. So this one is going to be crossed off my list for sure by the end of this week. And finally, we have the Powerless trilogy with the 3rd book coming out sometime in this year. And I'm hoping to get a copy at my local library and finish it before the end of the year. And with that, I know for sure 3 books on my entire series tracker is going to be completed by the end of 2025. And I am so stoked about that. Finally, with the last prompt, it is Breaking Walls. It asks if I have any non-book related goal that I want to share for 2025. And I do. I have a really, really, really big goal. And it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I need to fix my sleep schedule. At the current moment, I am a 4 a.m. girly to 1 p.m. in the afternoon kind of person. My sleep schedule is not healthy. I know it is not healthy. And I've really been trying to, I don't even know what to say. I have tried cold turkey. I have tried slowly easing it. Maybe what I really need to do is cut back on the caffeine, cut back on the video games, force myself to hop off of the computer at a specific time. I don't know, man. It's just that when you wake up at 1 p.m., your day is already over. And then I have all these things I need to catch up on doing. And then so I film, and then I need to edit, and then edit runs all the way over to 4 a.m. And then it's a vicious cycle, okay? It's a vicious cycle. And that is my 2025 goal. So definitely keep me accountable. I need your help. And if you guys have any advice on fixing a sleep schedule, also let me know down in the comment section. I think my sleep schedule has been messed up since way long ago. And now I'm just trying to fix it. And brute forcing is not working. Slow and casual is not working. I thought getting a dog might help. So I have a dog and she sleeps in too. So yeah, nothing is working, as you guys can clearly tell. But let's finally wrap this up with prompt 9, which is not really a prompt, but it is teamwork. And I'm going to tag some people to do this tag. I absolutely know that it's March. And I absolutely know that by the time some of y'all get around to this tag, it might not be anywhere close to the new year, but I still think it works as a reflection on 2024 of its own. So the first person I'm going to tag is Gina at the Library Mouse. The next person is going to be Lauren at Love Lauren. And finally, it's going to be Shuba as Shuba Reads Book. And that is a wrap for the New Year Same Old Me book tag. Thank you so much for tagging me in this, Renee. I really appreciate it. And I think I'm getting a hang of filming these videos with a lack of Mimi tangents. So I'm pretty happy about that because that means less for me to edit, and that's always a bonus for me. And I'm gonna stop my yapping here. I really do hope you guys liked the video. And if you enjoyed the content, I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a like, maybe a comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you guys next time in another video. Bye!